Hello, this is Oscillator Sync. Welcome back to the next video in my series about the Vermona DRM-1 Mk.iii analog drum synthesizer. So in the last video we had an overview of the unit as a whole, and in the next 6 videos I guess we're going to be taking a real deep dive into the synthesis engine that lies at the heart of this wonderful drum synthesizer. And we're going to start at the top and what is really the fundamental of any drum pattern anyway, which is the kick drum channel. So let's just get a little kick drum happening in the background so that we can talk about how this synthesis engine works. I mean, just in this most basic setting, that wonderful weighty low end, it's just great. Anyway, I digress. Let's talk about the drum synthesis engine here for the kick. So the kick is made up of 3 parts. There is essentially a VCO type oscillator pitched element which takes up these 5 knobs here, and then on top of that there's also a noise source and what's called a tack. We'll come to those two in a second, but we'll start by looking at what all these parameters do for this pitched section. So let's start with the easiest one to talk about, which is of course the pitch. So the pitch, this sets the baseline pitch for the oscillator. At the moment I've got it set quite low. It does go lower, almost into the clicks, so low that my headphones aren't really reproducing it. And looking at my you look at my VU on my door, it is still generating energy though. So this sets the baseline pitch of the oscillator, and it does go up quite high. Next to it we have the decay knob. This sets how long the volume or amplitude envelope takes to trail off. It goes quite long. Oh, that's such a glorious sound. But it can also be very, very snappy as well, basically just a click, although you can Okay, so let's skip bend and time just for a second and move over to wave. So wave alters the waveform that the kick channel is doing. So at the moment, with the wave all the way off to the left, it's what they describe in the manual as being a sine wave. If we listen to it, it's not quite a pure sine wave, but that's kind of what you want. It's got some harmonics, it's got some hair, it's got a lovely a buzz to it. So I suspect it looks, if we look at it in an oscilloscope, it's probably a little bit triangular rather than a pure sine wave, but that's kind of what you want. You don't want a pure boring sine wave. Sine waves are mostly boring. That's a much more interesting sound to me. Now, as we turn the wave knob across, we morph into closer to a square wave. You start to hear those harmonics coming in. That's nice. That's nice. Starting to build up those extra harmonics, giving you more top end. Starting to sound almost a bit distorted now, in a good way. And up at the end there we've got quite a raspy square wave voice there. Really nice. Yeah, you can hear it clicking there when we're on the really low pitches now. I don't know about you, but I would quite happily have that as the basis of a mono synth. It's just a great sound, really great. So I'm just going to set the wave. I tend to like it about there for general kick sounds. So we've looked at the decay, your amplitude envelope, we've looked at the wave, we've looked at the pitch. The next two knobs kind of interact together, and this is your pitch envelope. So this is like on an analog synth, patching the VCO frequency to an envelope, and basically you've got a instant attack and then a decay, which is defined by the time. So the pitch knob sets where the oscillator wants to rest. But by setting the bend, we can bend up at the start of the note, and the time defines how long it takes for us to get back down to our bass line. See there, we've got a really long decay. And now we're getting back down to our baseline pitch pretty quickly, but we're bending it quite high. Get those blips happening. We can be a little bit more subtle about it. And it helps you get that attack at the front of your note. Important to note that the bend time is not affected by the decay of the actual kick. So we can have the bend time really, really quick, but you still get that long decay on the actual note. You can get quite aggressive with it. The more you turn up the time, the more obvious that bend is. It's cool with the wave up. Cool. Okay, so that covers the main part of the voice, which is this the VCO element of it. The other two knobs allow you to mix in a single impulse of either noise or like a single needle pulse, if you like. So let's check out the noise first. So used subtly, it adds that sort of attack that you can hear on acoustic kick drums, I think. Bit more, it's a more obvious extra noise voice, and you can kind of use that as an additional voice if you like even. It's not affected by the decay, it's always the same length. But I almost always have a bit of it in the voice because it just adds a little bit of impact. And then we've got the attack knob. Which just adds that click. You can get quite over the top if you turn it up. But the two of these knobs used subtly will make sure that your kick punches through the front end of the notes. The manual suggests that the attack knob should be set once you've got the rest of the mix kind of playing, and I'm inclined to agree, but you know, you can take a guesstimate at it if you like. Okay, so let's just explore the synthesis engine a little bit for the rest of the video. Let's see what we can find. toms there. You don't need subs for that. Yeah. I can get lost in the kick drum on this thing for hours. Fantastic. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed that. I hope you learned a bit more about how the kick drum channel works on the Vermona DRM1. If you enjoyed this, please do like the video and make sure you subscribe so that you get the next few videos that we're bringing out, where we look at the drums, the multis, the snares, the hi-hats and the clap channels, and some of the other features as well. Thank you so much for watching, guys. See you again soon.